Coming to you, India is so diverse when you take it from the youth in the metropolitan cities and then you move on to the districts out of. So it's a very diverse background that we're looking at, and we're looking at the real core involvement. I was going through a couple of your work in the books where I highlighted something which says about 70% of the age of our population falls in the bracket 35 years below. We've got a median of 25 years to be our general population. So that's really a young India. But the involvement of the youth and the opportunity to be participative in the mainstream politics, how much do they have a hold and say in the matter?
Yeah, and that's the irony, everybody says India is youth and it's youth power and things like that. But actually youth are having no power. They have some spending power. They can buy jeans and they can buy cold drinks and they can keep these companies in business. But we don't really have a particular power. I mean, if the youth wants a good college to be opened, can they get it opened? No. And if they want, certain policies for jobs, some MNCs to come in or whatever, nobody even asks them. And that's largely due to because the youth has not been a vote bank. Forget vote bank, a lot of the youth has not gone out and voted. And I think that's what I'm trying to do in a way, is to create some common needs. When I say what Young India wants, I'm obviously generalizing. Not every youth wants this. But largely speaking, if you ask a middle class, do you want a good job in life, how important it is, he'll say it's very, very important. Or having a life partner, or having a good life, good status is very important. So why not make this our agenda? Why not make this? So this is why the youth has not had power. It has also because the people in power are very possessive about it. So still today there is no path to politics for an ordinary person. An ordinary person cannot, very rarely can join politics and make it, no matter how good he or she is. Either you have to be super connected or you have to be born into a family, which is not good. It's not good for the profession, it's not good for India's future. So all that needs to change and the youth will demand this. And if we collectively demand this, then the parties will reform, things like that. So that common agenda of the youth needs to be created, that we all agree with, especially the youth agrees with. And then we will start to assert ourselves, and then we will have some actual power, and youth power won't just be a slogan for MTV.
Something for you, Masaba. How easy was it really for you to establish an identity of your own as a brand, as a fashion designer? How did it all happen for you?
Well, I've actually literally been thrown into the fashion industry. I was trying my hand at various other things, but I was very practical even as a student. I studied music in London, and then I realized I'm not very great at it. And then I tried a couple of other things. But at the end of the day, I realized what is it that's going to, help me in the long run? What is it that I can do till the age of 60 or 70 maybe, and I thought it's fashion at least, because I knew I was good at it. And I knew I could bring to the table something new, something fresh, something young and innovative, and something that could actually connect with the masses. So I decided that fashion was it, and it's been a pretty smooth journey if you ask me, but that's because when I design, I don't really think of what the other person wants or what I need to deliver in order to be a commercial success. It's about where I put in a chunk of my personality into my designs, a chunk of my upbringing, of my cultural heritage, everything. So it just makes it more personal, and I think people just connect with it because it's something new, not been done before. And in terms of business, it's been trial and error. There's no tested formula to doing well or, making it big in the business aspect of it. You have to fall and pick yourself up, and that's how you learn.
This one's for Shazan and Abhishek. From the film dimension and from theatre, we have a good number of youngsters also getting socially involved with relevant issues which have appealed to them. So, how involved do you see youngsters nowadays with anti-corruption movement, or really being sensitized about movements going around for a change in the country? Do you find that? Do you spot it happening, the sensitivity of youth?
Sensitivity of youth, I don't know how to answer that, but I do see a man like Anna Hazare having having jumped generations and connected with at least people 50 years younger to him. And he's connecting directly with the youth. He's not talking to anybody else but the youth. This kind of rebellious movement is generated so that it can attract the young, the youthful and the energetic, people who have the fire to make the change. And that he is talking to the youth. And I'm sure if he's made that connect and that there is so much noise about it, the support, the backing he is getting is definitely from the youth. And you can see the power he's generated right now.
And Chetan, something about the movement, Anna Hazare movement, you've been quite proactive and supportive. So something that you could share with us about young India joining in with this entire change, revolutionary change that's coming about in this century.
I mean, in fact, this Saturday's column will be on Anna's movement. And I think they do, specifically about them, I think they deserve a lot of respect. And I think they have achieved a lot. From what they have achieved actually is they have made corruption a lasting issue in India. Next election, 2014, corruption will be an issue. And that's not easy for a few individuals to do in such a short period of time. Of course, there were some scams also, but they have really made it an issue. Now, having said that, I think the teams also made some mistakes. Not intentionally, their intentions are very good, but maybe they are really nice people, but to really, sometimes to get things done, you have to be a bit of a deal maker, you have to be a bit of the art of politics has to be known to you, even if you're not a politician. Because just being passionate about your cause doesn't mean it's okay if you don't have negotiation skills. Just being right doesn't mean you don't take into account the power of the person in front of you. Even if that person is wrong. If that person is really powerful and if you are right, you have to match that. You have to kind of, just because you have an ideal doesn't mean you don't cut a deal. Now these are not things, maybe, it's not something you immediately get. They kind of just went with the flow. And it's one thing to stumble upon a movement. It's quite another to sustain it. And that was something the movement couldn't do, and unfortunately for them, it's my read of course, that Anna became more than just anti-corruption. He became I am Anna and all those things for people. All the dreams that I'm telling you, that Indian young people want this, they felt Anna can help them get those dreams. They didn't know details of the Lokpal bill, but they said, Anna will help me get a job, Anna will help me get rid of inflation, Anna will help me get into college because government is not listening. And Anna can make the government listen. Government reacts to Anna. Prime Minister writes letters to Anna. So a lot of youth mobilized themselves. They put themselves behind Anna. And they felt Anna is the savior. Anna is the messiah. And we do have a messiah culture in the country anyway. Unfortunately, Anna couldn't do this. He doesn't have the power to do this. He was not designed to do this. He was a simple man who was part of a team and they used him as a symbol for anti-corruption campaign, for one law. He cannot be carrying all the dreams of the entire youth of the country, and disappointment had to come in when the only thing they could do was to fast.